good to be here. Light of the infinite. In through your nose. We're so busy the whole week, the whole day, running from there to here, busy on our phones. Let's take some nice deep breaths. Sing with me. I die 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 lie lie lam ho iri die die ram my lie ram la ram oi diri die lie die 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 ram dum dum I lie 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 la lam I lie 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 lam oh ho tiri dai dai dam lie la lie la dam I diri lie lie die 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 dum. Welcome, Light of Infinite Festival. So exciting. We're going to be talking about some life lessons that we could learn through the prophets. You see, it was a very dark time, and all of a sudden somebody ran over and they asked, "Where is the king? Where's the king?" Someone pointed, "HaMelech Shama, Lech." You ran to David's tent, knocked on the door. However, you knock on a door to a tent, but blah, blah, blah. David comes out. Ken, Maesh, what happened? David, אתה לא תאמין. You're not going to believe it, very, very bad. The city of Ziklag is on fire. Oh, awesome, on fire? No, not in a good way. It is on fire in a bad way. Everything is in smoke. The tents are on fire, burning. And your 2 wives have been kidnapped. What? Yes. Achinoam Israelite and Abigail. Both of them were kidnapped by Amalek. David cannot believe it. Gets all of his men as best as he could, runs to Ziklag, and looks and sees everything is burnt. It's terrible. What is going on? His 2 wives are kidnapped by Amalek. He starts crying. Oh my gosh. Everybody's crying. They cannot believe it. People are dead. Things are taken. And his wives are gone. And somebody runs out from the ashes and yells, "They took also a lot of captives. They kidnapped people." But everybody's crying. They cannot function. What is going on? Let's rewind. What exactly is going on here? Well, I'll tell you. A few weeks before that, David HaMelech was actually running away from Shaul HaMelech. Yes, that's correct. Shaul, who was the king of Israel during the time, from Shevet Binyamin, was anointed by Shmuel, and he has every right to be king. But he did not fight against Amalek properly. You see, Shmuel HaNavi, the prophet, comes to Shaul, King Saul, and says, "King Saul, I need you to go and fight against Amalek and wipe them out completely." And King Saul says, the British accent did not exist yet, not for another 1500 years at least. So Shmuel said, "Oh yeah, you're right. Probably something more like this. Shaul, listen to me very carefully. Hashem has spoken. You must go to the Amalek and you must finish the job that your great-great-great-great-grandfather, Moshe Rabbeinu, Yoshua ben Nun, they started. You must finish it off. But Shaul HaMelech did not listen. You see, he had mercy, but not real mercy. Mercy like I have on my son when I go, oh, I have such mercy on him. Here, have ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I have such mercy on you. That's not good mercy. Shaul had the same kind of mercy, so to speak. Obviously, I'm comparing and making it dramatic for effect. But Shaul did not listen to Hashem, and he spared the king of Amalek, whose name was Agag. And Agag was able to have more children and taught his children to hate Israel and to fight them at every turn possible. So Shmuel the prophet says, Shaul, I'm very sorry, but you did not listen to what I previously told you to do. So you will lose your kingdom. I am going to give it over to David HaMelech.
What? I cannot accept this. Not good,
says Shaul. And Shaul was so angry, he decided to kill David.
I will kill David, yes. Guards, bring me a spear. I will throw it at him and try to kill him.
And that happened a few times. Shaul threw a spear at David twice, missed him, thank God. David ran away and was in hiding. Shaul did everything he could, sent messengers after him, sent the best of his soldiers to find David and kill David. David ran away and he had nowhere to turn. Everywhere inside the Israeli territory, he was in danger of being killed. So he actually went to the west. He went to Lachish, the king of the Plishtim, and went to him and said, Hey, Lachish, ma kore? Hey, how are you doing today? Lachish said, Yalla, I am tayyab, mashi, and what can I do for you, David? Dawood, rather. David said, I'm in big trouble. My king wants to kill me, so perhaps I can stay here for a little bit? Why should I let you be here? You are a Yehudi from Israel. Why should I give you, a safe passage in my territory? Good question, Lachish. Achish, I mean. Perhaps I can... your enemies over there. I have 600 of my special forces men. They go with me everywhere. How about I will take them? We have our swords, we have our spears. We even learned a little bit of archery from the tribe of Binyamin. They are the best archers in the land. We learned from them. We can go and attack your enemies. How does that sound? Well, هذا شكله كويس وصوته كويس فكرة كويسة. طيب, why don't you do this? Fight against my enemy. I will tell you what. I will give you the city of Siklag. Siklag? يعني Siklag, you Israelis say, but we call it Siklag. If you can fight my enemies, I will give you this city, and you can live there in peace. In what? In peace. You can live there in peace. Okay, perfect. David HaMelech takes his 600 men, special forces. They go out quietly, night by night, attack the different enemies of Achish, the king of the Plishtim. He comes back. Okay, Achish, I beat your enemies. Good? Well, very good. You can return to Siklag, and where your wives can be there safely, and your people. And also, whatever you get from fighting these people, let's say there is gold and silver and horses, كل شيء, you can bring it and keep it in Siklag, and that will be your home base in the Pelishti territory, and your king Saul will not be able to get you. Okay, Toda Achish, this sounds very, very good. So David did exactly that. He made Siklag, which was in the territory of the Plishtim, but also spilled over into Yehuda, which is his own tribe. That way he felt extra, extra safe, and he was there. One day, he went out on a mission for the king Achish, went to attack another area. While he was out, he didn't realize, but the Amalekim were there hiding, and they looked and said, Wow, this is perfect for us. Hey, the King Daoud, well, not king yet, but the man Daoud of the Israelis, he has left the people over there in Ziklag. When he goes away, we will come from the other side. We will attack, take his two wives, Achinoam and Abigail, and we will set his city on fire. Okay? Get ready, people. There he is. Oh, he left. Okay, let's go. David left on an operation for Achish and didn't realize the Amalekim came into his city, set it on fire like we said before, took captives, took money, gold, silver, weapons, whatever they could find, and of course took the 2 wives of David and ran away. David gets the news, as we heard before, comes back with his men, is crying his eyes out. He does not know what to do. But then he's able to overcome his stress. And this is something we're going to focus on today. And in general, when we are going to continue with Erez and Light of Infinite and myself doing different classes on these topics, we're going to continue talking about this. But one of the main focuses is, why are we even talking about David HaMelech? Well, you see, I've been spending a lot of my time learning with friends, learning psukim, different passages from Tehillim, from Psalms, about this and that, and all these different deep lessons, and all these different books that we've been reading, saying David HaMelech said this, and David HaMelech said this, and we should learn this. So you know what I said? I said, wow, this is beautiful, and this is really deep stuff. You have to judge yourself favorably, we're learning. Rabbi Nachman always says, you have to judge yourself, you have to judge other people favorably. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, taking it to a whole new level. That's amazing. But I said to my friends, you know what? Why don't we learn the actual story of David HaMelech? How does he apply the things that he's teaching us in these books and in Psalms and Tehillim? Let's look at the actual story and see, how does David act, and how does he behave, and how does he apply these things? So David, how does he apply these things, you ask? He's crying. He's basically giving up hope, because that's the biggest negativity. The evil inclination, the Yetzer Hara, what does it want to get you the most? Its biggest strategy is to get you to cry and to think, oh no, I stink. Oh no, I can't do anything. Oh, I lost. Okay, it's over. No. David and his people almost got there. They were in Tsiklag, looking at the fires, remembering the people that were taken, and they could have given up. But instead they overcame that. They took a deep breath. They said, okay, this must have happened for a reason, because I believe that Hashem runs the whole world, and I believe everything he does is for the good. Therefore, it must be that when I fell, when I made this mistake, when I did this avera, when I messed up with that business deal, when I messed up in that relationship, in this case, when the city's on fire and the people are taken, it must also be from Hashem. So what am I supposed to do here? David takes himself by his hands, gets his people together, and says, guys, let's go get him back. They went, what? If our king, if our ruler, if our mind, our king, the one who's melech, right? Melech in Hebrew, mem, lamed, chaf, moach, lev, kaved. If the moach, if the melech is ruling, and the moach is ruling, and that rules the heart and tells the heart, okay, calm down for a second. The kaved, the liver, is where my desires are. I desire to do the right thing, and that affects the heart. And then it goes, okay, maybe I can calm down. And then the mind says, all right, how do we do this? He takes his 600 men, they leave the city, and they start to chase and figure out, how do we catch Amalek? They look for tracks. Some of the people, according to the Malbim, were saying, oh no, the reason they were crying is because they're like, we're never going to get them back. They ran back into the desert. How are you going to catch them in the desert? The sand always goes over itself and you can't follow any foot tracks, any footsteps. It's really hard to track the enemy. But David says, no, we'll figure it out. They start going into the general direction that they think he was coming from, which is towards the west. Starts going towards the west, towards Aza. Gets there, and just as they're about to give up, all of a sudden they look and they see a guy walking. David says to his people, 200 of you, you guys, you're going very slowly, and I don't know what's up with you. I think like they were sick and they were just straggling and they were pulling everybody back. So 200 men were holding back all the 600. So David, instead of saying, what are you guys doing? Hurry up. You guys stink. You guys hurry up. What is wrong with you? Instead, he flipped it. He said, you 200 that weren't feeling so well. He didn't make them feel bad about it. He said, I need you guys. I need you to watch over our stuff. Stay here by this Nachal, this valley. You watch over these things. It's very important. I need you to do a good job staying here and watching, right? And the whole time they're thinking to themselves, oh my gosh, wow, he's making us feel good about ourselves. This is important. Okay, we're going to stay here. David continues with 400 men. He starts running and he sees that man from a distance, somebody wandering. He runs out to him and he stops him and he says, who are you? Malbim explains that who are you, worded that way, is actually asking two questions. Number one, who do you belong to? And number two, where are you from? The man answers like this, I'm an Egyptian, but I actually used to work for the Amalek, and they were running away, and I got sick, and they left me behind. They kicked me out, and they said, leave. Why did he have to say that? He wanted David to understand he was with the Amalek, but he was just a slave. So he's not an enemy of David. Also, he didn't get kicked out for something he did. He just got kicked out because he was sick, to show that there's no flaw in his character. So please judge me favorably. David looks at them, at this man, this Egyptian slave that was kicked away by the Amalek, and he realizes, wow, the guys that I left at camp were also sick, and I didn't kick them out. I actually gave them a job to do. That was the right thing to do. This guy was kicked away from the Amalek. Oh my gosh, they treat their slaves terribly. I have an idea. Mr. Mitzri, Mr. Egyptian, which way did they go? Can you bring us and show us where Amalek went? He says, if you swear to me that you won't kill me and you won't return me to my slave masters, I will show you. And David says, I swear. David and his 400 men go down with this slave, the Egyptian. He brings them down. He knows where they're hiding. They were in a very secret place down in this valley. They figured nobody's going to catch them now. They started to party and celebrate, eating, drinking, enjoying themselves. David was at the top of the mountain looking down into the valley. He sees his enemy. He looks to the left. Oh, I see those are the captives. I bet you my wife is there. Both my wives. All right, guys. You ready? One of the guys says, yes, I'm ready. Let's go, David. We're going to attack. I said, we are, but not now. Let's wait till tomorrow. They're going to be eating, drinking. They're going to be so weak and so tired that early in the morning, before it's even sunrise, while it's still a little bit dark, we're going to run down there and we're going to attack them. Element of surprise. They're going to have a hangover. They're going to have bloated stomachs from eating. And then because it's right before daybreak, we'll have unlimited time until nightfall. Tons of hours. We're very much outnumbered, guys, also. We only have 400 men. They have a lot more than us. Can't even count. Also, we have to make sure that in the pandemonium, they don't hurt any of the captives. So we really need to play this well. Sure enough, the men said, okay. They took a rest. They switched off guarding, took a few deep breaths, and got ready for the next morning's attack. In the meantime, they enjoyed a very nice sleep, and I will be right back. Just have to get something. Got it. So, they were sleeping. They were ready for the next morning. They're going to attack the Amalek and hopefully free all of the captives. Early in the morning, before the sun comes up, David says, okay, are you guys ready? Okay. He actually asks Eviatar HaKohen. He looks at the Urim v'Tumim. Eviatar HaKohen has a vest that on top of it has the 12 stones of the tribes. Underneath it, there's a special email address, I call it, Urim v'Tumim, that David can ask Hashem a question, and through different codes, Hashem gives him the answer. He asks Hashem, should I go down and attack? And Hashem responds in some coded way that only David can understand. Yes, go and you will be successful. David's very happy. He looks at his men. Okay, let's go. Early in the morning, before the sun comes up, the guards that are down there in the Amalek camp are half asleep. They know their guard shift is about to be up. They can't wait for it to happen. David and his men are going, crawling on the ground, keeping under cover as much as they can behind trees, behind stones. And when they're close enough, David and all the men get up and go and start attacking all of the Amalek as much as they can, fighting the men. David himself, the pasuk says, runs and finds his two wives, Achinoam Israelit and Abigail, runs to them, frees them, destroys any enemy coming, takes them down. A few other guys come. David and his men worked in a very well formation. Their shields either had a Magen David on them, the Star of David on them, or they were shaped like a Star of David, meaning they had points on 6 sides, becoming not just a shield, but a weapon in of itself. Starts fighting through all the ranks. And the pasuk says, from the Neshef, which is right before the sun comes up, all the way till the evening, they managed to fight off all the Amalekim, destroying all of them except for 400 young men that fled on camels. Interesting. David himself had 400 men. The Amalek also had 400 men, which is interesting because Esav, their great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, also came with 400 men against Yaakov. I haven't seen anything in the writings, but I don't think that's a coincidence. David runs to his two wives. Oh, my sweets, are you okay? Oh, yeah, we're okay. We're fine. Thanks, honey, for coming. Of course I will come. Hashem was with us the whole time. They free all of the captives. David orders his men to take all of the bounty that they got from the battle and not keep it for themselves, but give it back to the people who it belonged to. You see, they found out that the Amalek, they were celebrating because they had just gone and pillaged many Pelishti camps and many Judean camps. So they had tons of gold and tons of silver. David could have kept it for himself, but he did not. He brought everybody, all the people, back to Tziklag. He used the money to go rebuild Tziklag, and he's on his way back there. Before he even gets to Tziklag, he has to go back to his 200 men that were tired and sick. He comes back and he sees them and they see him, and he goes, before anything happens, David makes sure to make the 200 sick guys that waited behind feel good about themselves. He says, hey guys, how are you doing? How do you feel? And they said, we're okay. The 400 men that were behind him that fought against Amalek said, King David, our king, please, we just fought. We sacrificed ourselves. Don't give the money and the bounty that we got to these 200 men that were sitting behind. They didn't do anything. It is our money. We should have it. What does David say? Lo ken achi, lo ta'aseh ken. Don't do like this. That's not how it works. Hashem decided that we need to fight against these men. Hashem allowed for us to win. Therefore, I am telling you right now, these men that waited behind, they showed so much faith in God that they waited behind and let us do it. They believed that we would be successful. So all this money, all this bounty, it's everybody's. And this is going to be the rule. From now on, anytime we go to battle, whatever is won is going to be distributed amongst all the people. Doesn't matter if they were in the battle. Doesn't matter if they sat on the side. Everybody counts. And if you look at the IDF today, we have the cooks, we have the jobnikim, we have the people that fix the cars. Everybody gets paid. Everybody has a uniform the same. David was showing all the way back then, a few thousand years ago, this is the way it's got to be. The people respected that. They realized, wow, what a way to flip it, King David. These people who were sick, who were left behind, they felt like garbage because they couldn't fight. We felt like they were garbage. But on many occasions, number one, you made them feel important, that they were guarding the camp. Number two, you're showing them that they even had more faith than us because they were willing to stay behind and not fight because they knew we would win. David, over and over and over again, is always judging everyone favorably. He didn't even yell at the people. He didn't say, what do you mean don't give them the money, don't give them the bounty? You're so selfish. He could have said that, but he didn't. He said, Lo ta'aseh ken achi. My brother. It doesn't work like that. Hashem allowed us to fight them. Hashem allowed us to win. These people are all on the same side. Everybody's getting the bounty. And first, we're going to pay back the people that were stolen from by Amalek. Then after whatever's left, we could split it, etc. The people learned a big lesson and they realized this is the leader of Israel. And if we continue learning these stories about David, we're going to see more and more later. Right after this battle, somebody runs over to him and says, oh my gosh, David, King Shaul, the one who was hunting you for years and trying to kill you, he was just killed in battle by the Plishtim. And David could have went, yay, my enemy is dead. But instead he said, oh, no, and he tore his clothing. And he tried to find out how he was killed. And we'll talk more about that in another episode. But for now, just to understand, all these books that we're learning about David, when he tells us you have to judge yourself favorably, you have to judge other people favorably. The Tehillim that tells us all about how to serve God, how to deal with difficulties when we mess up. Don't fall into despair because of the mess up. That's how the Yetzer Hara gets you. Get back up on the horse. You're crying? Remember, oh yeah, crying is a healthy way to deal with things. But right after that, have faith and go with it. Learning the stories of David and learning the stories of the prophets and the Nevi'im, that's how you're able to put the two things together. The teachings, but also the stories about them and see how they applied it personally. It's an amazing thing. I'm very much big into stories and storytelling. That's actually why I wrote this book, How to Be a Ninja of Life. And that's me in the back, over here. And this is a storybook. You can get it from me. You can message me, or it's on Amazon. But if you get it from me, then I could sign it for you. I'd love to give these out. It's a lot of fun where you learn a lot of stories about all these kids, and they have different challenges, and there are different characters, and you get to learn life lessons. Okay, there's the map, and there's the students. You get to learn all these life lessons and martial arts techniques. It's a lot of fun. Storytelling is big. And one of my biggest inspirations was learning the stories of David and Shaul and Shlomo and all of our kings and prophets, because you're able to just, from one story, see how they interact with another person, see how they treat themselves, see how they overcome challenges. They're very applicable for day-to-day life and very, very important for us to see how our forefathers did it, what we're supposed to learn from it, how we're supposed to teach, how we're supposed to stick together, fight against the common enemy. May Hashem bless us that we should understand how to do this, how to internalize this, how to apply it, how to always stay positive, judge ourselves favorably. And let's sing a song to set us off. During the 3 weeks, we hope to have Yerushalayim speedily built. It's a time where the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, and a very tough time. But till the last breath, we stuck together and we fought against the Romans. And let's take a few deep breaths. Hi, lai, 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 la, lam. Hi, lai, lai, lam, oi, lai, dam, oh, oh, didi, lai, 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 la, lam. Hi, didi, lai, 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 lam. Hi, lai, 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 la, lam. Hi, lai, 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 lam. Oh, oh, didi, lai, 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 la, lam. Hi, didi, lai, 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 dum. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you to Light of Infinite, the festival. Thanks to Erez. Thanks to everyone for participating. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And stay tuned for more episodes about life lessons from the Nevi'im, from the prophets. Take care, guys.